Okay, so let's get started with this one. Six A is the summation of k equal to 1 going to infinity from k squared plus 3k plus 5 divided by k cubed minus 2k plus 4. So normally I will say if you see a fraction like this with polynomials and there's a difference in degrees, go for the limit comparison test, try to find like b sub n and such. So with this, we can say our a sub n is equal to n squared plus 3n plus 5 divided by n cubed minus 2n plus 4. Trying to find our b sub n. This, as we approach infinity, this goes to n squared over n cubed. The rest of the terms don't really matter. So that's 1 over n as n approaches infinity. And we can say we'll choose our b sub n to be 1 over n. Do you guys all see how we got b sub n that way? We did as n approaches infinity. The only terms that mattered are n squared over n cubed. That simplifies to 1 over n. And we can even do and the summation of k equal to 1 going to infinity of 1 over n is what? It diverges because it's a harmonic series. Any questions on that? Now, if we had a negative 1 to the n power, and it was alternating, what would the answer be? Converges, because that'd be an alternating harmonic series. You guys, yeah?
We just end there, or we actually need to state that it's not the comparison test?
No, we still have no idea what happens to a sub n. We just know that b sub n diverges. Now we need to compare it with b sub n by doing the limit as n approaches infinity of a sub n over b sub n. This tells us whether they follow the same pattern or not, like whether they grow at the same speed. This is equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of our a sub n, which is n squared plus 3n plus 5 divided by n cubed plus 2n minus 2n plus 4. And that whole thing, we can just multiply by n because we're dividing by 1 over n. Okay? Or should I put it in the... You guys see why I just wrote in n as a times? So this is equal to limit as n approaches infinity. Multiplying the n throughout, we have n cubed plus 3n squared plus 5n all over n cubed minus 2n plus 4. What do we do here? Or multiply by 1 over n cubed divided by, so like a fraction of 1, so 1 over n cubed. And we know it's n cubed that we need to divide by because that's the highest degree. So that's equal to the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 minus 3 over n plus 5 over n squared divided by 1 minus 2 over n squared plus 4 divided by n cubed. Okay? As we approach infinity, every term that's divided by an n goes to 0. So this is equal to a 1. Okay? Yeah.
Now, when we divide by the n cubed, does it have to be the same power in both the numerator and denominator?
No.
No. So
Then you might get infinity or 0, depending on which one has the higher. So if there was a n still, if this wasn't a 1, if this was a, so we divide by the highest.
in which one, or doesn't matter? Just the highest period.
Yeah, the highest period.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you may have this equal to a 0 or an infinity, depending on what you have, and then that leads to different comparisons with the limit comparison test. So since this is equal to a 1, that's between 0 and infinity. That means a sub n and b sub n will follow the same, converging or diverging. Okay? And we know since b sub n actually diverges, we can say that the summation of k equals 1 of infinity of a sub n, which is k squared plus 3k plus 5 divided by k cubed minus 2k plus 4 diverges by LCC. Any questions on that? So there's like other rulings where if C approaches infinity and B sub n diverges, then A sub n diverges. But if C approaches infinity and A sub n converges, B sub n converges, we don't know. The limit comparison test fails. Okay? Those are in your dyno. I'll look them up. Any questions on this problem? No? No. Do you guys know what I was talking about when I said C equal to 0 and infinity? Do you want me to state those, or are you guys good? Okay. Okay. Can I erase the top? Yeah. It was if C is equal to 0 and B sub k diverges, or sorry, B sub k converges, therefore A sub k converges. And if BK diverges, the test fails. Okay. And if C is equal to infinity and B sub k converges, test fails. And if B sub k diverges, A sub k diverges. That is also something you'll need to memorize, but it sort of makes sense. If it goes to infinity, they both can diverge. If it goes to 0, then they both can converge. And if you have a number between 0 and infinity, they follow the same. Good? So, I just realized right now that I am recording the video, but what I'm saying will not be recorded.
There's no way to change
I can restart it, but then this problem will not be on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I will do.
Left-hand side.